Holy crap, I can't believe it. 23 minutes and the entire landscape of the NHL changes. Boys, we got another NHL 16 shootout commentary today, and once again, I gotta focus on what I'm talking about. The shootout is on in the background because it was an amazing day. Blockbuster trades, Steven Stamkos re-signing with the Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll get into that in another video. I got enough on my plate with the two blockbusters. The first one being Taylor Hall being traded to the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Adam Larsson. Straight up 1-for-1, no prospects, no draft picks. And if that wasn't big enough for you, the second one, the real, I mean, this is a blockbuster of blockbusters. PK Subban traded to the Nashville Predators in exchange for Shea freaking Weber. And no draft picks or prospects in that one either, boys. So two trades straight up for each other. I want to get into this. I'm sure you guys have tons to talk about in the chat as well. I'll give you my opinions, why I think the teams did it, and who got the better end of the deal. I guess we can start with the Edmonton and New Jersey trade. Taylor Hall for Adam Larsson. Oh my God. Now, from the Edmonton Oilers perspective, you know, Edmonton, they finally pull the trigger and move one of those top forwards for a quote-unquote top defenseman. Now, I've heard the initial reactions from everyone for this trade, and it tells me that the Oilers got fleeced. Peter Chiarelli has now traded away both the first and second overall picks from the 2010 NHL entry draft. Tyler Seguin, bye-bye from Boston over to Dallas. He's turned into a stud. Taylor Hall in Edmonton, bye-bye. Send you to New Jersey. We'll see how that ends up. Freaking Chiarelli, man. He's got balls. He really does. Now, hear me out. I actually think this could be a great move for the Edmonton Oilers. First off, you don't want to trade Hall to the Western Conference, so that eliminates 14 potential destinations right away. Second, you're never going to be able to acquire that perfect stud defenseman who's in his prime and who can dominate for years to come, unless, you know, you give up like a boatload like McDavid and like you have to go crazy with it. But what you can do is acquire a player who's right on the brink of becoming a stud. Third, Edmonton already have two young left-handed defensemen in Darnell Nurse and Griffin Reinhart. Not to mention, they also have the left-handed Andrei Sekera and Oscar Klefbom. They needed that righty who can log minutes. And that brings me to point number 4. This past year, Adam Larsson was second in average ice time for the New Jersey Devils and was a plus 15 with 82 games played. I mean, that sounds like top 2 defenseman numbers to me, and the point totals will increase simply because of my final point, Connor McDavid. McDavid is going to turn the Oilers around all by himself. All he needs are capable players who can make him better. Larsson doesn't have to get Erik Karlsson type point totals to be effective. He just has to play top minutes, force turnovers, get the puck in deep, and when you can, pass it to Connor McDavid. If Larsson and McDavid both stay healthy this year, I predict easy 40 assists for Adam Larsson just by playing with McDavid, and he's going to be getting top 2 ice time. So he could turn into that bona fide top 2 defenseman. He may not. We'll have to see. It could end up working out for the Edmonton Oilers, boys. Now, when you look at the New Jersey Devils, I know that Taylor Hall's a stud, and the Devils have certainly landed a top winger, but this trade, to me, resembles the trade that sent Jeff Carter to the Columbus Blue Jackets. He won't want to play with the Devils, and I think they're going to be forced to reflip him. Now, they have Hall for another 4 years, so he's not going anywhere if they don't want him to. But ask yourselves, are the New Jersey Devils going to win the Cup in the next 3 years? If not, will he leave through free agency, or will he decide to re-sign? If the Devils have Hall for more than the next 4 years, then it is a great trade. Don't get me wrong. But Hall just rubs me as the kind of guy who's fed up with playing on a team that doesn't help him. We saw it with Phil Kessel in Toronto, guys. It doesn't matter how good a winger is. If the team sucks and they can't get the puck to him, there's nothing a winger can do. He can't turn it around all himself. Hall's now been traded from one rebuilding team to another. I mean, now maybe it works out by slotting Hall beside Adam Henrique or Travis Zajac, but I just don't see the Devils winning a cup with Taylor Hall. I just don't. I see Hall winning a Stanley Cup like Phil Kessel or Jeff Carter did by being traded to a contending team that he can help out immediately. Not a retooling team that needs time. Taylor Hall ain't no rookie anymore, guys. The guy is 6 seasons deep. It's time for him to start playing for a contender. So when I look at this trade, I give the short-term win to the Devils simply because they acquired a star and the buzz will generate excitement for the team. and the fan base. But for the long haul, I say the Edmonton Oilers won. They need to rebuild for Connor McDavid. They have that franchise centerpiece. So bring in players that can help him out. And building from the back out is what a winner does. So getting another defenseman in there, if he ends up being a bona fide top 2 defenseman long term, that's really going to help out the Edmonton Oilers. All right, boys? So that's the way I see that trade. Let me know what you guys think. Who got the better end of that one, all right? Now, let's move on to the real big one. I got a lot of opinions about this trade. Our rivals, the Montreal Canadiens, they're going to look much different next year than they did this year. And I don't even know what to say with this one, man. I really don't. So I'll just go through it. I've actually written some things down because I'm all over the place. All these stats to talk about, no movement clauses. All right, so, I mean, first, when I heard this trade, the great Domsky told me, it shocked the crap out of me. He told me the Taylor Hall trade first. That woke me up. The second one was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? I mean, it just kept on getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I still haven't fully wrapped my head around this. Now, let's talk about the Montreal Canadiens trading away their top defenseman, PK Subban. Now, we've all heard the nonstop rumors about Subban being traded. Therrien doesn't like his flashy style of play. Bergevin didn't like how much he had to sign him for. Some of the players just don't like him in the locker room. Even though this guy's played at an elite level, you just never got the feeling like the team wanted PK there. Here's a quote from PK Subban himself. Quote, "Right now, I'm going to a team that wants me." Quote. And that says a lot right there, boys. That sounds like a guy who just never got the feeling like management fully got behind him. I mean, it just tells me that he's frustrated with the lack of confidence management had in him. He just could never get playing the way he wanted to play. It's just, and it sucks too, because the guy's so freaking talented. I wonder what it was. I want to know what the true story was. I don't want all this hearsay. I really want to get to the bottom of this and why PK Subban just didn't fit in with the Montreal Canadiens. I'm sure it's going to come out over the years, so I can't wait for that. But there's one thing I should point out to you guys before we get into this. When PK signed his current contract, it was for 8 years at $9 million per season, all right? With a no-movement clause that would kick in on, you guessed it, July 1st, 2016. In other words, guys, if PK wasn't moved before July 1st, upcoming in a few days right here, then that means he'd have all the power. He could play wherever he wants to play. If Montreal wants to trade him, they can't do it. They got to ask him, right? So perhaps this was Bergevin's plan all along, to give Subban the contract when he wanted it, but with only the intent of letting him play the first 2 years to try to win that Stanley Cup with the core they have before trading that contract away. Bottom line, he's gone. And in return, the Habs land Shea freaking Weber. Now, the immediate criticism for Weber is that he's already 30. He's got 10 years left on his deal still. Yossi and Suter made him better on Nashville, and now he's got no one. In my opinion, it's all bullshit. The whole point of trading away Subban wasn't because of his skill. It was because of the way he plays and the way he leads. Weber's going to be Mr. Professional in comparison now. No more calling out teammates on front of everyone on the bench or on the ice. No more flashy, unpredictable offense that causes turnovers. And no more over-the-top celebrations that do nothing to help win a Stanley Cup. Montreal also doesn't have to worry about losing that bomb on the power play. Weber is right-handed, and he had 14 power play goals this year, while PK only had 6. I know he had 10 less games played or something, but still, man, Weber can come right in there. That's what I mean, like 1 for 1, righty for righty, top 2 for top 2. This is a sick, sweet-ass trade. And now to score on the Montreal Canadiens, you got to go through Weber and Carey Price? Damn, man, that's going to be rough. So, it's interesting. I don't know what to say about it. I'm just giving you guys facts. My reaction right now. This one still I'm trying to wrap my head around. From the Nashville Predators' perspective, I love this trade. Look at the sweet core the Preds have now. Philip Forsberg, 21 years of age. Ryan Johansson, 23. Subban, 27. Roman Josi, 26. James Neal, 28. I really think that this new look Predator squad has a very bright future with the trades that they've made this year. They've done almost like a mini retool or a mini rebuild even this year while remaining a playoff team. They're going to be good next year. I mean, they did a great job over there. And does anyone want to place bets right now that PK Subban is going to win the Norris next year? The man's going to be on fire. He's going to be looking to prove to Montreal that they made a huge mistake. And he's also coming in to play with incredible line mates right away. I predict Roman Josi is going to be his partner all year round. A nice lefty, nice righty combination. Go right where Weber was. He also, I'm sure he's going to get attention on the power play. Weber, like I said, had 14 power play goals this year. Let Subban wind up and rip his bomb in the exact same spot. Boom, 10 goals guaranteed. And when he's not shooting, he can simply pass it off to one of the Predators' goal scorers for assists. And we haven't always been able to say that about the Predators, right? The Predators' goal scorers. So he's coming into a good spot. Now, it's got to be tough for the Predators fans to see their captain leave after all these years of service. He's been a stud there for the Nashville Predators, right? But when you guys get a younger, potentially better, I'm not calling him better, I'm saying maybe sometime in the future, Weber goes down while Subban's still going up, potentially better player to get one back for your captain, I mean, that must ease the pain. Am I right, Preds fans? I know you guys can be upset, but you got PK Subban right back for him. Quite nice if you ask me. And now this one was a lot tougher to try to distinguish who got the better end of the deal. I broke it down into the 3 parts, all right? And I want to put these questions to you. Who got the better end of this deal? From a contract perspective, Montreal saves $1.2 million of cap per year, but adds another 4 years on to that deal. Now, this will help with a win-now strategy with the roster that they have. Carey Price, Max Pacioretty, these guys are getting contract raises. I think Price has got 2 years left. Pacioretty got 3 or 4. Then you eventually got to give Galchenyuk and Gallagher their contracts. You know, the time to win is right now for the Montreal Canadiens, and Shea Weber does that for them. While the Nashville Predators, they gain another $1.2 million of cap per year, but cuts 4 years off the deal. This is a great win in the near future type of strategy. I'm sure they're going to be trying to win the Stanley Cup next year, but my whole point is 5 years from now, look at that core that I was talking about. Philip Forsberg will be 26. Ryan Johansson will be 28. Subban will be 32. Roman Josi will be 31. 5 years from now, that core will still be effective. And 5 years from now, they won't have a 35-year-old Shea Weber making close to $8 million per year. They have a healthy contract situation now that will allow them to be the stud team, you know, in the near future, I'm going to say. So it works out for both teams in the contract perspective. So I'm calling it a tie right there. Now, from a roster perspective, I'm going to give the win to the Nashville Predators. Turning your top 2 right-handed defensemen into a younger top 2 right-handed defenseman who has a healthier contract is a clear win. Subban will be 33 when his current contract is up. Shea Weber will be 40. Enough said right there. The roster is a lot healthier for the Nashville Predators, while the Montreal Canadiens look better to win the Stanley Cup. All right? And from a team perspective, I give the win to the Montreal Canadiens. It's a clear sign to your players when you move a star out from your team. You're basically telling everyone, hey, if you don't play, we're moving you. We weren't afraid to move PK Subban. Everyone is on the chopping block. Montreal clearly wasn't happy with the Subban direction, and instead of waiting too long like the Luongo-Schneider situation in Vancouver, just get the player out and make the change. They move Subban to the West, so hopefully he won't come back to bite them in the ass, unless it's a filthy Stanley Cup final between Nashville and Montreal. That would be awesome. They also replace him with another righty, and they actually upgrade from PK Subban for this year. Now, people may disagree. You're going to hear people say, oh, PK Subban's already better than Shea Weber. I'm sure he can put up more points. I'm sure he looks better offensively. I'm sure he looks better in the highlight reel, right? But people need to understand, you may disagree, but if Steve Yzerman and Mike Babcock think that Weber is better than Subban for Team Canada, then that says something. I'll take these guys' opinions on who's better rather than your guys' opinion. I just will, all right? Right now, Shea Weber is the better defenseman, better suited to win a Stanley Cup championship, all right? That's all I'm saying. I already said earlier that Subban has the potential to become better than Weber, but next year, Weber's going to be better than Subban, all right? I'm putting my eggs in the Weber basket. So there it is, boys. Who do you guys think got the better end of this deal between the Nashville Predators and the Montreal Canadiens? I've been talking for a while. Jesus Christ, I'm going to have like 4 or 5 shootouts in this one. A lot to talk about, boys, but like I said, 23 minutes is all it took for the entire landscape of the NHL to change. Just think to yourself, what's going to happen in the next 2 months? Oh, baby, I can't wait. So let me know, boys, and I will see you in the next one. Be sure to check out our website, 2bcsports.com, where the hockey talk continues. Find myself and others in the live interactive chat, or dive into the active forums to talk about sports and gaming. You can also find us on Twitch, where the live streams come to life.